Super Junior.
Super Junior is a South Korean pop group. Formed in 2005 by producer Lee Soo-man of S.M Entertainment, the group comprised a total of 13 members at its peak. Super Junior originally debuted with 12 members, consisting of leader Leeteuk, Heechul, Hankyung, Yesung, Kangin, Shindong, Sungmin, Eunhyuk, Donghae, Siwon, Ryeowook and Kibum. Kyuhyun joined the group in 2006. Super Junior launched into international recognition following the release of their best-selling single Sorry, Sorry in 2009, the title song of their most critically successful album Sorry, Sorry. Over the years, they have been divided into smaller groups, simultaneously targeting different music industries and audiences. Largely due to Super Junior's success as entertainers, other Korean entertainment managements began to train their music groups in other areas of entertainment, such as acting and hosting. The best-selling K-pop artist for 3 years in a row, Super Junior have earned 13 music awards from the Mnet Asian Music Awards, 16 from the Golden Disc Awards, and are the second singing group to win Favorite Artist Korea at the 2008 MTV Asia Awards after JTL in 2003. In 2012, they were nominated for Best Asian Act in MTV Europe Music Awards. In December 2009, Hankyung departed from the group after filing a lawsuit against their agency SM Entertainment. Hankyung subsequently won the lawsuit in December 2010, though his departure from Super Junior was not made official until September 27, 2011, when SM Entertainment finally released a statement to that effect. Kangin enlisted for his mandatory military service on July 5, 2010 and completed his service on April 16, 2012. Heechul enlisted for his mandatory military service on September 1, 2011 and completed his service on August 30, 2013. Leeteuk enlisted for his mandatory military service on October 30, 2012. Yesung enlisted for his mandatory military service on May 6, 2013. As of 2014, Super Junior have 9 active members: Heechul, Kangin, Shindong, Sungmin, Eunhyuk, Siwon, Donghae, Ryeowook, and Kyuhyun.
Musical career 2000 to 2005, formation and debut.
In 2000, SM Entertainment held their first overseas casting auditions in Beijing 101, China and recruited Hankyung, who auditioned against 3,000 applicants. That same year, Leeteuk, Yesung, and Eunhyuk were recruited after auditioning for the company's annual casting system in Seoul. Sungmin and Donghae became trainees after jointly winning first place in an SM-sponsored contest in 2001. In 2002, Heechul and Kangin were recruited along with Kibum, who was discovered in Los Angeles, California by a casting agent. Siwon became a trainee after being scouted in 2003. Shindong became a trainee in 2004. Ryeowook won the 2004 Kyuhyun Youth Festival singing competition and became a trainee just 2 months before debut in 2005. Kyuhyun then joined the group in 2006, after winning 3rd place in the 2005 Kyuhyun Youth Festival. In early 2005, Lee Soo-man announced that he had been preparing for an all-boy project group of 12 members to debut at the end of the year. He called the singing group to be the gateway to stardom of Asia, as most of the members in this group were chosen for their experiences as actors, MCs, models, and radio hosts prior debut. Heechul and Kibum were already established actors at the time, and most of the other members had already made various kinds of appearances in television and media. Inspired by the rotational concept of Japan's girl group Morning Musume, Lee said that his new group would also experience lineup changes, with new members replacing selected members every year to keep the group constantly young and all-rounded. This concept was then newly introduced to the K-pop market. For a while the group was rumored to be called OVER, the acronym for Obey the Voice for Each Rhythm. However, before the group settled with their current name, the company simply referred to them as juniors, a representation of the members' young ages when they first became SM trainees. After the members showcased their different talents to the company at a picnic, the company finalized their group name to Super Junior, and officially became Super Junior 05, the first generation of Super Junior. Super Junior 05 made their pre-debut performance on the Korean channel Net on September 11, 2005. At the showcase, they performed various styles of hip-hop dancing, where they danced to B2K's Take It to the Floor. Hankyung, Eunhyuk, and Donghae also performed a separate dance together, dancing to Usher's Caught Up. However, the performance did not air on television until May 16, 2006 as a segment in the Super Junior show, the group's first television documentary. The group officially debuted on SBS's music program Popular Song on November 6, 2005, performing their first single Twins, Knockout. A digital single with Twins, Knockout, You Are the One, and 3 additional tracks were released online on November 8, followed by the release of their debut album Twins on December 6, 2005. The album sold 28,536 copies in the first month of release and debuted at number 3 in the monthly chart of December 2005.
2006 to 2007, You, Don't Dawn, and commercial success.
In February 2006, Super Junior 05 began performances for Miracle, the second promotional single from their debut album. Miracle topped the music charts of Thailand, drawing interest from international markets. As promotions for Miracle ended, SM Entertainment began selecting new members for Super Junior's second generation, Super Junior 06. The company even prepared a list of chosen members that were to graduate from the group. However, the company abandoned the rotational concept after adding a 13th member, Kyuhyun, in 2006. The group then became known as just Super Junior, without the suffix 05. Member Eunhyuk indirectly explains in a variety show that junior group SHINee could have been part of the group, but that was contemplated before Kyuhyun broke the rotational concept. After the addition of Kyuhyun, Super Junior released their single You for free download on May 25, 2006 on their official website. You exceeded 400,000 downloads within 5 hours of release and ultimately surpassed 1.7 million downloads, crashing the server. A physical single of You with a total of 3 tracks was released on June 6, eventually selling over 81,000 units in South Korea. The single became one of Korea's most popular songs of the year, taking up number 1 spots for 5 consecutive weeks on 2 of Korea's top music programs. By the end of the year, Super Junior collected over 7 awards in 5 of South Korea's top music awards ceremonies, and was one of the 3 best newcomer winners at the 21st Golden Disc Awards. In late 2006, Kyuhyun, Ryeowook, and Yesung formed the subgroup Super Junior KRY, Super Junior's first sub-unit. They performed their first single The One I Love, theme song to the Korean television drama Hyena, on the KBS music program Music Bank on November 5, 2006. In February 2007, Leeteuk, Heechul, Kangin, Sungmin, Shindong and Eunhyuk formed Super Junior T, a trot singing group. They released their first single Ryeowook on February 23, 2007, and made a debut performance on Popular Songs 2 days later. Super Junior's second official album was intended for a late 2006 release, but due to several accidental setbacks, Don't Dawn was not released until September 20, 2007. Don't Dawn sold over 60,000 units the first day of release and debuted at number 1 on the monthly chart of September 2007. Although Don't Dawn received mixed reviews from critics, the album went to sell more than 160,000 copies by the end of the year, becoming the second best-selling record of 2007. Super Junior received 7 nominations at the 2007 Net KM Music Festival, winning 3 of them, which included Artist of the Year, termed by many as the highest recognition of the ceremony. Super Junior collected 2 more recognitions at the 22nd Golden Disc Awards, including a Disc Bonsang Award, Record of the Year.
2008 to 2009, Sorry and Career Breakthrough.
Super Junior M, Super Junior's Manda pop subgroup comprising members Hankyung, Siwon, Donghae, Kyuhyun, Ryeowook, and Super Junior M members Henry and Zomi, was formed in April 2008. Although the creation of the subgroup initially created a strife between the group's fans and their management, Super Junior M went on to become Super Junior's most successful subgroup, selling out 2 concerts in Hong Kong, topping weekly ratings with their appearance on Chinese variety programs, and was the idol group with the most endorsement contracts in China. They won numerous awards at Chinese music festivals, and achieved critical acclaim after the release of their single Supergirl from their second record Supergirl, which garnered them a nomination for Best Vocal Group at the 21st Golden Melody Awards. A 4th Super Junior subgroup was created soon after Super Junior M's debut. With 5 members from Super Junior T and Yesung, they formed the subgroup Super Junior H, releasing their first extended play, EP, Cooking, on June 5, 2008. In November 2008, Super Junior T made a debut in Japan, collaborating with Japanese comedy duo Moen. Their single Rock and Geo, the Japanese-language version of Ryeowook, debuted at number 19 on the Oricon Daily Charts and ascended to number 2 3 days later. Super Junior's first Asia-wide concert tour, Super Show, started on February 22, 2008, in Seoul. The group held a successful 2-day fan meeting in Japan at the Nippon Budokan in Tokyo, selling out 12,000 tickets in several days. The group released a compiled single U Twins, which includes the Japanese version of You in the limited release version, to complement the event. The single peaked at number 4 on Japan's Oricon Daily Chart on its first day of release, and dropped down 4 places on its second. The single broke a new record for being the first Korean single to have made within top 10 on Japan's Oricon Weekly Chart. The group released their 3rd studio album Sorry, on March 12, 2009. It was their first album to debut at number 1 on the Hankyung charts, selling over 29,000 copies the first day. After only a month of release, the album became South Korea's best-selling album of 2009, and ultimately sold over 250,000 copies in South Korea. It became the best-selling K-pop album in Taiwan, Thailand, China, and the Philippines, in which the latter credited the album to be the first K-pop album to reach number 1 in music charts from the country. The album's title single Sorry, became an instant hit, collecting a total of 10 number 1 awards for 10 consecutive weeks in Korea, and stayed as number 1 for a record-breaking 37 weeks in Taiwan's K-pop singles chart. Sorry achieved national and international success, and has since been the group's best-selling single in South Korea. Sorry won several accolades at the 24th Golden Disc Awards, including the Disc Daesang, Record of the Year. After the success of Sorry, Super Junior commenced their second Asia-wide concert tour Super Show 2, on July 17, 2009 in Seoul.
2010 to 2011, Bonamana, lineup changes, and international recognition.
Despite their critical and commercial success, the group was plagued by legal turmoils and lineup changes during their concert tour. Though Kibum was shown in the ads and promotional videos for Super Show 2, he did not officially participate in the concert tour, and announced his temporary leave from the group to pursue his acting career. In October 2009, Kangin was charged with a DUI and hit and run after crashing into a parked taxi holding 3 passengers. In December 2009, Hankyung filed for contract termination from SM Entertainment, claiming that the provisions of his contract were unlawful, harsh, and against his rights. He parted with the group and released his solo album Jengzin in July 2010, which sold over 510,000 copies. That same month, Kangin announced his hiatus to fulfill his 2-year mandatory military service. With only 10 members left, Super Junior went off to release their 4th studio album, Bonamana, in May 2010. Although the album did not fare well as Sorry critically, it sold over 300,000 copies in South Korea, outselling Sorry. Bonamana was originally made by moves from Michael Jackson's MV's Choreographed Together. The album remained at the top of Taiwan's Korean-Japanese music charts for 61 weeks, breaking their own previous record of the said chart. To promote the album, Super Junior embarked on their third Asia-wide tour Super Show 3 in 2010 and 2011, and had sold-out concerts for each stop. In February 2011, Super Junior released a 3D movie version of their tour, Super Show 3 3D in all CGV and Primus movie theaters. The movie debuted at number 6 on the box office charts and went off to become the best-selling 3D movie in Korea. After touring in Japan, they released the Super Junior Japan Super Show 3 Feet opening commemorative album in February 2011, which debuted at number 2 on Japan's Tower Records online sales charts. The DVD version of Super Junior Japan Limited Special Edition, Super Show 3 also debuted at number 2, while the CD version debuted at number 10. The album also remained at number 3 spot on the Oricon Daily Chart for 2 consecutive days and number 6 on the Oricon Weekly Chart. Following their commercial success in Japan, the group released a Japanese version of Bonamana's self-titled single in June 2011, which debuted at number 2 on the Oricon Daily Singles Chart, selling over 59,000 copies the first week of release. However, SM did not see the release as their official Japanese debut and has stated that their debut in Japan will occur at a later time. Between Super Show 3 stops, the group took part in the SMTOWN Live 10 World Tour and toured in Los Angeles, Paris, Tokyo and New York along with other SM Entertainment managed artists, performing outside of Asia for the first time. Super Junior's performances were well received by the media, and they were honored as Korea's national pop culture icon for their role in spreading the Hallyu Wave, Korean Wave, receiving the Minister of Culture Awards by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism at the Pop Culture Art Awards. They were featured on CNN's Talk Asia program, and talked about their popularity and strategy for advancing into the world music industry. The group has achieved recognition beyond Asia, reaching notability in Europe, North America, and South America. Peru's top 30 ranking of the sexiest men in the world included all of the members on the list. They gave exclusive interviews to Slovenian and Iranian magazines, and were selected by Brazilian Hallyu fans to be the #1 Korean artist they want to visit Brazil. Both Mexico's TV Azteca and the United Kingdom's BBC acknowledged Super Junior to be the leading icon of the Hallyu effect.
2011 to 2012, Mr. Simple and the World Tour, Super Show 4.
Mr. Simple debuted at number 1 on the South Korean Game Chart, selling 287,427 copies. The album stayed on the chart as number 1 for 4 weeks, and sold over 441,000 copies in South Korea by October 2011. It peaked at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums Chart and number 17 on Japan's Oricon Albums Chart. The album's title single Mr. Simple won first place on the first day of the group's comeback performance on the music show M! Countdown. In September 2011, Heechul left temporarily for military service. Super Junior began their first world tour, the Super Show 4 in November 2011. The group's second Japanese single, a Japanese version of Mr. Simple, was released December 7, 2011 in Japan, however this was still not recognized by SM as their official Japanese promotional debut. The group, with Super Junior M members Zomi and Henry, also recorded the song Santa You Are the One for the 2011 Winter SMTOWN. The Warmest Gift album, released on December 13, 2011. In addition, Donghae and Eunhyuk released their collaboration digital single Oppa on December 16 and performed the single on Music Bank that same day. On January 11, Super Junior participated at the 26th Golden Disc Awards which was held at the Kyocera Dome in Osaka, Japan. The group ended up bringing home 4 awards, Popularity Award, MSN Japan Award, Disc Bonsang and the Grand Prize Disc Daesang. This was followed by further successes at the Seoul Music Awards on January 19, at which they were awarded the Disc Bonsang and Disc Daesang. On January 13, Super Junior were crowned Album King in Taiwan, after Super Junior's 5th album Mr. Simple and 4th album Bonamana ranked 1st and 2nd on both album and music sections of the Korean Music Chart 2012. Significantly, Super Junior ranked 1 on the KKBOX K-pop chart for 64 consecutive weeks with their fourth album title song Bonamana, marking the longest record in the history of KKBOX K-pop chart. They then reached 1 with the fifth album title song Mr. Simple for 46 consecutive weeks, as of July 4, 2012, effectively knocking themselves from the 1 spot. On February 22, Super Junior won Album of the Year for the third quarter at the Gain Chart Awards, and on March 13, Super Junior won Favorite K-pop Video for Mr. Simple at the MYX Music Awards. Also, Super Junior successfully completed their World Tour Super Show 4 in 10 cities worldwide, including Seoul, Osaka, Taipei, Singapore, Macau, Bangkok, Paris, Shanghai, Jakarta and Tokyo for 6 months starting in November. Combined with their 3 Asia tours and Super Show 4, Super Junior's concert brand gathered a total of 900,000 audiences.
2012 present, Sexy, Free and Single and the World Tour, Super Show 5.
In June 2012, SM Entertainment announced that Kangin would rejoin Super Junior for the group's sixth album, Sexy, Free and Single, which was released online on July 1 and in stores on July 4, 2012. SM released the MV for Sexy, Free and Single on July 3. The version B of album was released on July 16, having only a different cover. On August 7, Super Junior released the repackaged album for Sexy, Free and Single called Spy, including 4 new songs: Spy, Outsider, Only You composed by Leeteuk and Haru composed by Donghae. The MV was released on August 13. Super Junior's sixth album Sexy, Free and Single managed to rank high in iTunes in several countries including Australia, France, Peru and Japan. It also ranked third on Billboard World Albums. The album debuted at first place on the South Korean Gain chart, selling 335,744 copies in 1 month. Staying on the chart as first place for 3 weeks in a row, 459,182 copies have been sold in only 2 months, July, August. Furthermore, Sexy, Free and Single also debuted at first on Hankyung chart with more than 200,000 copies sold in 1 month, become the first group to do so far this year. Super Junior ranked first place on Hankyung's Top 5 K-pop Artists 2012, winning Hankyung Singer Award, and also ranked first place in Hankyung Album Award 2012, also winning this award. Sexy, Free and Single was placed first for several weeks on Taiwan KKBOX K-pop chart, having all album songs charted. The Japanese version of this song, which was released on August 22, has sold over 118,902 units, making the single gold certified. Super Junior were nominated for Best Asian Act in MTV Europe Music Awards, showing one more time their popularity around world. On October, Super Junior won Teen Style Icon Award in Style Icon Awards, and on November they also won the Best Artist Group Award, the 19th Korean Entertainment Arts Awards. On November 30, Super Junior attended the Mnet Asian Music Awards, where they won 3 awards, Album of the Year, Best Global Group, Male, and Best Line Award, being the second year in a row that Super Junior wins Album of the Year. Their Super Show 4 3D movie was awarded with Work of Art Award at the International 3D Festival, being the only singer together with Glam winning an award. On January 15, Super Junior won Disc Daesang at 27th Golden Disc Awards, being the third Disc Daesang that Super Junior has won, and the second in a row, winning in 2011 for Mr. Simple. Super Junior announced their world tour in February 2013. The world tour, Super Show 5 inches, began in March, starting with Seoul. The group will then go to China, Japan, South America, and Europe.
Tours and concerts.
The first Asia Tour Super Show, 2008 to 2009, the second Asia Tour Super Show 2, 2009 to 2010, the third Asia Tour Super Show 3, 2010 to 2011, Super Junior World Tour Super Show 4, 2011 to 2012, Super Junior World Tour Super Show 5, 2013 to 2014, Super Junior KRY. The first concert, 2010-2011, Super Junior KRY. Special Winter Concert, 2012-2013, Super Junior D&E The First Japan Tour, 2014, SMTOWN Live 07 Summer Concert, 2007, SMTOWN Live 08, 2008-2009, SMTOWN Live 10 World Tour, 2010-2011, SMTOWN Live World Tour 3, 2012-2013, SM Town Week, 2013.
Musical style.
They pursued bubblegum pop in Twins, alternative rock in Don't Don, pop and contemporary R&B in Sorry, Sorry and Bonamana, and electropop and synthpop in Mr. Simple. The group has also covered few songs in their albums. Their debut single Twins, Knockout, is a cover of Triple Eight's Knockout, which was released in 2003. In most of their covers, the original titles are kept, such as Cape's Love and Exiles Believe, both tracks from Twins. Super Junior works closely with Yoo Young-jin, who has produced and arranged most of the group's title singles since debut. Yoo's also known for creating the renowned SMP style, a genre that includes a balanced infusion of rock, R&B, and rap, empowered by the sounds of electric guitar, bass, and other different percussion instruments. Super Junior prominently featured this SMP style in Don't Don. The group are also acclaimed for their vocal harmonization and unison, as each member contributes a different range in their choruses, and often incorporate different types of vocal belting into their songs.
Subgroups.
Since debut, 5 Super Junior subgroups were formed. With the exception of Kibum, all of the members were put in at least one subgroup. The intentions of the subgroups were part of SM Entertainment's strategy to not limit Super Junior's activities while certain members focus on their individual careers. Furthermore, the goal of subgroup formations was to show that Super Junior could accommodate and perform different musical genres. This strategy was later challenged by critics, as it has influenced an overwhelming amount of music groups to create official and unofficial subgroups alike. Super Junior KRY, Super Junior T, Super Junior M, Super Junior H, Donghae and Eunhyuk.
Philanthropy.
Super Junior were appointed as the Goodwill Ambassadors for the 2008 Korea and Thailand 50th anniversary, honoring the good relationship Korea has held with Thailand for the past 50 years. On February 20, 2010, Super Junior were named as Taiwan's tourism ambassadors. Super Junior are also spokesmodels for the Donate Blood, 2007 present, campaign at the Republic of Korea National Red Cross, and were appointed as Goodwill Ambassadors for World Blood Donor Day. On March 3, 2011, Super Junior were appointed by the Ministry of Food, Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries of Korea as the 2011 Honorary Korean Food Ambassadors to promote Korean cuisine all over the world. On June 17, 2011, Super Junior were chosen to be the ambassadors of Seoul Summer Sale 2011. They have since been appointed to the same position for Seoul Summer Sale 2012. On July 24, 2011, Super Junior were appointed as ambassadors for Korean tourism and LG Korea. Because of their popularity, they have been chosen as endorsers for Lotte Duty Free, and Donghae and Siwon are endorsers of the famous Filipino clothing line Bench. Kyuhyun is an endorser of Masita. Siwon and Kyuhyun are endorsers of SK Telecom. On September 4, 2012, Super Junior are appointed as honorary ambassadors for the Gangnam district of Seoul.
Controversies.
Expansion to China. After the subgroups Super Junior KRY and Super Junior T, on October 2, 2007, SM Entertainment announced the birth of another Super Junior subunit that would begin activities in China starting 2008. Zombie and SM Entertainment's new Taiwanese-Canadian trainee Henry Lau, who was also featured in the music video of Don't Don, were also members of the subgroup. The announcement brought in a huge wave of dissatisfaction and opposition from some fans of Super Junior after the announcement of 2 new members. Initially, Some fans were planning to boycott the company's products, however, most of these fans agreed on a silent protest instead. Thousands of fans from Super Junior's official fan club ELF silently sat in front of the SM building and held signs that supported the group to have only 13 members. After more rumors regarding adding another member to the subgroup, the fans decided to gain a legal representation as part of SM Entertainment's stockholders. As of March 20, 2008, Super Junior fans purchased 58,206 stocks of SM Entertainment, holding 0.3% of the company's entire stock. They released a statement that they will obtain all chances to prevent SM Entertainment from adding new members and to keep Super Junior as only 13. Conflict with MBC. A time slot dispute occurred between SM Entertainment and MBC when SM insisted to have Kangin stay on SBS's Explorers of the Human Body instead of MBC's Sunday night Donghae Club, Donghae Ryeowook, where Kangin has been a regular host. MBC temporarily banned the rest of Super Junior from appearing in any future performances and shows hosted by MBC. Kangin also lost his MC jobs to TOP of Big Bang for the Music Show, Music Core and also 2 more variety shows, which both soon cancelled after Kangin left due to low ratings. MBC demanded an apology from SM Entertainment in order for Super Junior to appear on shows hosted by the channel again. However, MBC concluded that Super Junior's ban was never official, but just a decision for show's producers to decide. Hankyung's lawsuit and departure from group. On December 21, 2009, Hankyung filed for contract termination with SM Entertainment, unhappy with contract length and salary. On December 21, 2010, the Seoul Central District Court ruled in favor of Hankyung. On September 27, 2011, his departure was made official.
Awards and nominations received by Super Junior.